So the malleable reality of relationship discovered the profound truth, and the truth is people in your reality are not fixed entities, but a reflection of your inner world. And this is understanding is the key to transforming any relationship. And I will go in real depth in this video because this is something I've seen people being challenged over and over and over again. I really want to clarify this because I've coached few female clients and a couple of male clients who also had the same challenges. So your consciousness shapes everything. So the foundational truth, as we all know, if you have studied a little bit of Neville, if you heard a little bit of Neville, if you have watched some of these manifesting videos, you know the foundational truth is your state of consciousness doesn't just influence your reality, it creates it. It creates it. So the core principle behind all the personal transformation is your state of consciousness is what is creating your reality. So beyond fixed personalities, most believe that others are separate from them or they're separate with separate traits. But in truth, they are all playing the roles cast by your inner beliefs and assumptions. Everyone is playing a role which is cast by your inner beliefs and your inner assumptions. So change your state, change your world. When you shift your inner state, the circumstances around you will shift, including the people automatically align with your new vibration or state. I prefer the word state than vibration, but this is what will happen. I'll give you an example. There was a person in my office when I used to work there, and he was sort of mean, rude, a little bit annoying to every other person. But I had this assumption within that everyone at my workplace treats me with respect and kindness. So he was always nice, respectful, and kind to me. And to everyone else, he was just himself, annoying. Guess what? Because everyone was looking at his 3D personality, they've heard, oh, he's always like that, and they're always reacting to that, and that is what would show in their 3D reality. Isn't it funny? A lot of people see a certain person reacting a certain way, and they assume that that person always reacts that way. And that becomes the reality. It is the most common mistake people make over and over again. So the mirror of your inner world, the people in your life serve as a direct reflection of your inner beliefs and assumptions about themselves. So if you hold the belief that somebody is difficult, they will manifest as such. So like for that example I gave you at office, that everyone assumed that he's annoying, that he's difficult to deal with. Exactly, that's how he showed up in the reality. But the internal belief, for example, if somebody has this internal belief, they are always so critical of me or they are so unkind to me, guess what the external reflection is going to be? The person is consistently expressing criticism. The person is consistently being unkind. My mother also complained to me a few times that, your father is always unkind to me, he's always critical of me. I'm like, in your imagination, when you write down, she does scripting, that you write down, you say, my husband is appreciative of me, or my husband is kind to me. And he changed after 2 months. He changed. So instead of trying to fight the external world and telling him this and that, just doing the internal world change his attitude towards her. So this explains why often we attract similar patterns or types of people repeatedly. It's not just bad luck, but a consistent creation from your internal narrative. From the internal narrative. It is not just bad luck. Okay, because you are the one who's creating it, and that is what is showing up in the 3D world. So some of the people are a bit confused when it comes to it, but I'll, as Neville always mentioned, that go straight to the end, the power of imagination. So when you get stuck in the process, but the secret lies in focusing on the desired outcome as if it has already happened, as if it is already real. And that is the key. So you identify the feeling or the state, inhabit the state, and then the reality will flow. All we have to do is we have to keep returning back to the state until the state becomes natural. So instead of visualizing the steps to improvement, Neville taught us to just bypass the intermediate stage and go straight to then imagine the feeling or the experience, the relationship as you want it to be right now, as you would have wanted it to be right now. That's how we want to experience it, and that is the key. As we want it to be right now. So imagination is your spiritual reality, okay? Because a lot of people think, okay, I'm just imagining so that they can change a little bit. Imagining this is just fantasy, how it's gonna affect them, or we are doing something, imagining it, and thought is getting transferred and it's going. That's not the way it is, okay? And we don't even need to know how it is. But the key is, when we are imagining something, it is actually happening in reality right now. People think we are doing some hack, or we're doing some technique, or we are doing something to make it happen. But no, when we are imagining, it is happening right now. And that is the state from which we must imagine that this is happening right now. This is the reality. So imagination is not a mere fantasy. It is the spiritual realm where your reality is first constructed. And you vividly imagine and truly feel as real is already accessible. It's already here right now. So every significant shift in the relationship originates with someone's imagination. And the external world then diligently catches up, aligning itself with what he has already been established internally. And that is how your people in the external world will show up, is how you have assumed them to be. So feeling of natural, this is a very key insight, really important. Pay attention to this. Beyond excitement, you have to go beyond. A lot of people, they assume some very exciting event, and they think because that event is rare and it has too much excitement. So the crucial element of manifestation is for the new reality to feel natural, not forced, not overly exciting. For example, if you think of a wealthy mindset, right? Someone who has been wealthy for a decade, their wealth is simply a natural part of their life. It's just a natural reflection of who they are. They're not constantly, wow, I can buy this, wow, I can buy this, oh, wow, I can fly first class, wow, I can. Maybe the first few months they were like that. After that, it became natural. It's like, yeah, this is who I am. Yeah, of course I can fly first class. Of course I can buy expensive cars. That is the feeling, that is the state to cultivate, where we have to go to the end. If you're imagining being married to someone, you imagine being married to them for 5 years, celebrating the 5th year anniversary. It's not your first anniversary, it's super exciting and whatnot. So 5th anniversary is like, come on, of course. So time to manifestation. This is, a lot of people ask, like, how long does it take to manifest something? What is the time frame to manifest something? But they're looking at it differently. It is, so simply put, this is the speed at which your assumption hardens into fact is directly proportional to how natural and obvious it feels to you internally. So this is the malleable reality relationship. How natural does it feel? How natural, even though the person is being rude, unkind, or indifferent to you in the 3D world, have they become kind, respectful, appreciative in the internal world? Yes or no? And has that become natural? And the faster it becomes natural, the faster it shows up in the 3D world. It is all proportional to the level of naturality in your 3D world. Okay, so from creation to recreation, this is the key, and I really want to express this. If you created it, you can recreate it. Always remember that. If you created it, you can recreate it. So if a current relationship is causing you pain, suffering, know that this is a result of your accumulated beliefs and assumptions about that person. So this isn't about blame. It's about reclaiming your immense power. It's not even them to blame, or it's not even yourself to blame. It's just a state. So you occupied that state where you assume that this person is like that, and that is what was shown to you in the 3D world. So stop reacting to your current appearances. It's only reinforces old patterns, right? The more we react to our current circumstances, current appearances, oh, this person is always rude, or this person is always indifferent, this person is always critical, that's exactly how they show up again and again in our 3D world. I'm getting very passionate about this because I've seen this happen over and over again. I've been guilty of this. My clients have been guilty of it. I've known the family members who have been guilty of this. So instead, go within and consciously decide, what is the relationship like now? How do I want the relationship to be right now? I want them to be loving, appreciative, kind, care about me. That's what you want, and that is the assumption of the state of the wish fulfilled you need to occupy. That is the key. Okay, so your operant power, choose what you love. Conscious choice. Okay, so this is a conscious choice. Now you're at the crossroad. I love this image. And choose the desired version of any relationship. Feel it as already real, and persist in the knowing you are not bound by the history or current circumstances. You are not bound by the history or current circumstances. This is important because now you are at the crossroads. Now you have this awareness that our internal state is creating a reality. Our internal assumptions and beliefs about this person is creating how they show up in a 3D world, in our physical reality. So that is now a clear indication for you to make a conscious choice now. Am I always going to be reacting to them in 3D, or am I going to go back into my wish fulfilled and go back into the state where I want them to assume that state, how I want them to show up in my 3D world? That is what we want. We don't want this. We want how they should show up in our 3D world. So the true authority, at the end of the day, you are the awareness that chooses which state to occupy. You are the operant power, not the other person, not the external circumstances, not the past events. If you really get this, and sometimes, it's a journey, slowly you get it, you get some manifestation, you're like, I have some power. But you are the power. That is what I'm trying to say. It also took me, some people like, okay, I can do this, I can manifest a coffee, I can manifest a trip, I can manifest a little bit of money. No, but you are the operant power. So when you really get that you are the true authority, you are the operant power, not the external, not the person, not the circumstances, not the past events. So you can occupy that state using your operant power, that where they are loving, kind, appreciative, whatever you want them to be. And that is how they will show up in your 3D world. And we are always creating. Some people say we are always manifesting, right? So you're always creating your reality. The only question is whether you do it consciously or by default. And by default is when we look at the external world and we react. Why not consciously create what you love, how you want them to be in your relationship? My mother was always complaining to me. I told her that she does a scripting kind of technique. She writes a golden book in her diary. She writes. So I said, you have to start writing in your diary that my husband is very appreciative, and my husband is very kind, he's appreciative, and he takes care of me. And he's always been caring, but sometimes he can be a bit critical. And in few months, he changed. My father changed, and my mother was amazed. And my mother was amazed. Said, your father is being more appreciative. Now he's being more kind towards me. He's being more open towards me. And I was like, of course. Because that's the assumption, your whole thing within. When you're doing your scripting, that's the state you're assuming. And that state is showing up in the 3D world. So of course, you're always creating. So this is what I wanted to share in this video. By the way, I also have a free video series. If you haven't checked it out, the link is in the description below, where I will go over all the most common fundamental manifesting mistakes that people make over and over and over and over again. And I decided, after coaching so many people, after talking to so many people, I was like, okay, I'm just going to create a video series. So I want everyone to go through those series so that they can stop making those common mistakes and really go to the next level, really create that results, really create that success for themselves. So I was like, okay, let me create it. And it's my gift to you, all of you. And by the way, my name is Rohit, if you haven't realized it by now, and sometimes I forget introducing myself, but my name is Rohit, and I really appreciate that you watched the video all the way through. Check out the link in the description. It's an amazing video series. I put my heart and soul into it. And if you have any interesting comments or any, any ideas, if you want, please share them in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you have any experiences you want to share, please share them as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, you take care, have fun, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.